Hey, so there's a story about this poor widow, and she is poor. She's broke. She doesn't have anything left. And it's a story from the Old Testament in the Bible. And she's talking to Elisha, and it's in 2 Kings, Old Testament, chapter 4. And Elisha, he asks the woman, he's like, well, how can I help you? What can I do to help you? Tell me, what do you have? Giving and gratitude. Tell me what you have. And over again, Jesus will ask, what do you have? Help me, God. Okay, Amy, what do you have? And the widow, she said, so Elisha asks her, he says, tell me, what do you have? And she says, nothing at all, except this one jar of olive oil, one flask of olive oil. So she's like, I don't have anything at all. Well, I do have this one jar of oil, and oil is expensive, and oil is needed for life. So she tells him this, and he says, go borrow. And I love this. So she is asking for help, and he's going to give her a miracle, and she gets her miracle from borrowing something. It wasn't even hers. So she, not only did she have nothing, but almost she had less than nothing, because she had to go borrow something in order to get her miracle. I'm trying to be still, and I just can't ever be still. So Elisha says to her to go borrow as many empty jars as you can from your friends and neighbors. Then go into your house with your sons and shut the door behind you. Pour the olive oil from your flask into the jars, setting each one aside when it's filled. So she did what she was told, and her sons went out and they started borrowing jars from their friends and neighbors. And they would come home, and then she would take the flask of oil and she would fill the jar to overflowing, and then the boys would bring another one. And they filled up every one until she said, go ahead, bring me some more. And they said, that's all there is. We can't find any more. As many jars as they borrowed, they filled. Her miracle was in borrowing. She had one thing. She had one thing. She thought she had nothing, but she had one thing. She had a flask full of oil, and she borrowed the jars in order to get her miracle. And they filled them, and they filled them, and they filled them until there were no more jars to be filled. So when this month of giving and gratitude, think about that. What is it that you have? And you may say nothing. What can you give? Nothing except there's always something, except something. If it's your time, if it's I don't know. I can't think of time. And of course, if you can give someone groceries, or if you can give someone a ride, what is it that you do have? So never say nothing, because you might say nothing and then start looking around, except I've got this one thing. And then I just love the fact, and I don't know how it fits in, but it's got to fit in for somebody. Her miracle came from borrowing. Like, it wasn't even something that she had. It makes me think of the friends that carried their friend up to the top of a roof and lowered him down so he could be healed and walked. Like, all miracles take action. And we could talk about that all day long, but miracles take action. You have to take action in order to get your miracle. And here she took action, and her action was to go and to borrow. So she was already humbled, and she had to humble herself a little bit more, and then go ask. And go borrow in order to get her miracle. So while you are in the midst of giving and gratitude, and hopefully it becomes an addiction for all of us, right? Think about that. What is it that you do have? What can you give? And be grateful for whatever it is, even if it's borrowed jars. Be thankful, be grateful, and spend time thinking of ways that you can give a blessing to others. So giving and gratitude this month, and even if it's borrowed. Have a great day. Amen, sister.